Welcome back to the Shine Thrive Photography Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Monica. And surprise, everybody, surprise, the doors to Outsourcing Made Easy are open today as a secret special surprise because so many of you have told me that you have regrets. And by regrets, I mean regrets about not signing up for Outsourcing Made Easy in October 2022. And now you're like, oh my God, the season's coming up. It's gearing up. It's like, oh my God, I should have done it so that I could have all my systems in place, so that I can have the support that I need so I don't hit burnout again this year. And I listened and I wanted just to be like, okay, you know what? Let me make this happen. Let me figure it out. And on top of that, the virtual assistant workshop is going so incredibly well. Photographers are taking action step by step, finding their virtual assistant. And now the next step is everybody needs to know what to do now. How do I train my person? How do I make sure to communicate effectively with feedback so that they continue to improve and smooth out the system and continue to give me results that I'm really happy with. Like there's so much to learn here. And one thing that I'm so proud of that I love about OMI is that my lessons are so straight to the point. Like I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to know in each lesson in the shortest amount of time that I can so that you can move on to actually putting everything into action. It's more of an implementation course than for you to actually spend hours and hours and hours sitting there watching it. Like no, your life is way too short. Your time is so valuable that I kept that in mind. And so the course takes you step by step every single way on what to do next. You watch a 5-minute video, you know exactly what to do by the end of it, and you go on and do it. You watch a 10-minute video, you do it. And everything is labeled precisely with how long every module is, how long every lesson is, so that, you can plan ahead. If you have kids, now that I have kids, oh my gosh, kids, multiples. I have been, now that I'm a mom, I know what it's like you have to really, plan out things even more and be even more intentional with your time on a whole nother level. And so, yeah, I've made sure to give you those tools. And in this episode today, I wanted to share with you a little bit of a coaching call in the Outsourcing Made Easy group. So if you join Outsourcing Made Easy today, by the way, it's only open for 4 days, literally right now from today till Thursday. So May 15th to May 18th, 2023. It's only open for 4 days. And then I'm closing it back up because it's a lot of energy on the back end to like open up the doors, like, there's just so much shit that goes on in the back end to actually make this happen. And that's why I do it once a year. But I really wanted to be there for you guys and support you. And because I have less weddings this year by choice, because Rory is done pat leave, he's back to work. And so now weekends are so much more sacred to us than ever. That's when we have so much more family time. And so I intentionally, my cap is like 15 weddings and I'm happy. And because I have this education side of my business, I'll feel so in harmony with like being able to creatively shoot through like those weddings and also take on sessions and then also have even more time to be here for you all through the courses, through the Shine and Thrive Photography Facebook group, through the podcast and all of that. So I'm really excited about that. So that's why I actually had the bandwidth to do this. And so back to my point of as soon as you sign up for OMI, you can literally do this now. You can go to sarahmonica.com/freedom. I know those of you that have been like, can you open the doors? Can you open the doors? That's going to be you right now. You're on there. You're listening to this podcast. You're signing up. You're going to have access to everything right away. All the lessons, you can get into action right away. And you're going to be emailed all the coaching call details right away. They're happening Monday, let me see here, May 29th, and then also June 12th as well. And there's a ton of support in the in the OMI Facebook group as well. And later on this year, there's also going to be more support calls. So you're going to be well supported. So in this episode, you're going to hear a clip of me, talking with Ashley, coaching her through something. She said she felt stuck and she knew she was in her way for her getting her outsourcing system in place, and I helped her problem solve through something that was like being a bottleneck in that whole situation, which you will find out about. And then right after you hear that coaching call bit, which is about 15-20 minutes, I think, I've just compiled some amazing words from my students. And I don't need to tell you how amazing Outsourcing Made Easy is and the benefits it can have for you. Like, they can just tell you themselves because they have made shit happen for themselves. They got into action, they trusted me, and now they're reaping the benefits. And so much sooner than they even thought. Like, so much sooner. Some of them are 6 months after starting the course. They're just like, holy shit, I'm already making more money and working so much less. And you need to hear these stories to really understand that I'm not just like this one-off thing that like, oh, it's easy for Sarah. Like, Sarah has it figured out, but it's not possible for me, or it's not possible for other photographers. It's like, no, these are actual like copy and paste efficient workflows that I teach that you can take, copy, paste into your business, and it works because they are foolproof. I've thought through them a lot. I'm like, if another photographer was doing this, would this work for them? Like, I've literally thought about it all, and you get to have that. And that means that, guess what? If you commit to yourself and your life and your well-being and your mental health and your relationships to do something a little bit different and actually make a change in your life and business to open up so much more time freedom in your life for you to only focus on tasks that excite you, light you up, energize you, that fulfill you in your business, and let go of the shit that drains you, that bores you, that keeps you playing small. If you're ready to commit to that, oh my goodness. And like, you're going to have an amazing freaking season. You're going to be able to enjoy patios, the summer, the fall, Christmas without being still working on your queue. And one thing I do want to say is, I don't think you can ever actually feel ready. I think in this moment, you could be feeling like, okay, you know what? I could feel as ready as I've ever been. And that is the most ready you can feel, because you're never going to feel fully ready to do something that you don't know how to do, right? I don't know about you, but when I first tried riding a bike, it was terrifying. It was so scary. There was so much resistance, but I really wanted to. And I'm like, that looks like so much fun. I really want to learn that skill. And so I got on and I practiced and I fell and I failed, but then I got back up, and the failure actually wasn't so bad. Like, I built it up in my head, and then I kept going, and then I finally was able to enjoy that. And now that I think about it, I remember when I was a teenager, all I did was ride my bike everywhere, like with my headphones in my ears, jamming to music. It was so much fun. And like, so that's a great metaphor for you in this moment. There is resistance, but in your gut if you need this, and you need this if you feel like you're hitting an income ceiling, you can't bust through it, and you're still working your ass off all the hours of the day, and you still are only making a certain amount of money, you don't know how to bust through it. That means you need to buy more of your time back to be able to take on more shoots, and also have time to recharge, and also have time to market your business better, more effectively, or even just at all, because a lot of photographers don't even have time to market their business. That's why they stay stuck there. So yeah, that's a sign that you are ready. That's a logical sign, but also intuitively, and that if this actually works, the students say it does, and like I say it do, which I think you do. Trust me. I know you trust me, and I know you'll trust these students. Don't let that like ego in your head try to keep you safe and try to keep you playing small. If you listen to this podcast and you've been listening for some time and you've been following me, or even if you're new, if you're new here, but something about me and the way I talk and the way I teach, you're just like, yeah, like it feels good. It feels light. And I feel like a trusting of her. Just follow that and trust it, and know that what you are investing will pay you dividends so much more in the quality of your life and how many more bookings you can bring on, how much you can get paid. It's incredible. And as I'm saying this, it's 4:44 p.m. You all know I love to call out the angel numbers on the podcast, because I know a lot of you resonate with those and use those as signs for whatever it is. Maybe your gut right now is saying, no, it's not right for you. Oh, 444 is telling me, okay, no, it's not right for me. But if your gut was like, okay, you need to do this, I know it's nerve-wracking, but okay, I think it's time. Then 444 is your sign. Time, sign, does that rhyme? Oh my God, now I'm a rapper. Anyway, Okay, so sign up now. I cannot wait to welcome you with open arms, give you all the support that you need to have the most amazing, thriving season ahead. And as a reminder, the year I started to outsource, I freaking doubled my income the following year, by the way, because I was able to shoot more and enjoy myself more as a photographer instead of staying stuck behind my computer for so long. So just keep that in mind. There's so many stories of other photographers in Outsourcing Made Easy that also have discovered, oh my God, as soon as I started outsourcing, my income went up more than I thought. So there's really no risk here. And I also offer a 30-day money back guarantee. Literally, like if you jump in and you're like, this is stupid, this is worthless, I do not learn anything, this won't work for me, there's no value here, I will refund you. I don't want to keep your money if this isn't of value to you. But no one has ever actually taken me up on that. Everyone has always said there is value here, and I'm so happy I've taken your course, and I wish that I would have outsourced sooner. Okay, so I think that's everything that I wanted to say. I got it off my chest. If you go to sarahmonica.com/freedom, you'll see the whole page there with all of the information. You'll learn what you're gonna see what you're gonna learn in every single module lesson. There's an frequently asked questions section at the bottom as well. There's testimonials. There's full on like little mini video stories from my students, and there is a full on like mini movie of one of my student success stories, Jennifer, that really, really transformed her business. Her transformation was incredible, from the place of burnout and the energy that was around her when I first jumped on when she was on a coaching call and we first connected. She was just like this, it was this dark energy all around her and it was so heavy. And then only a year later, she's a whole new person. She's like sending me a DM voice memo saying, Sarah, you have no idea, I'm so thankful for you with this outsourcing course, because it's like middle of the busy season and I'm just here enjoying my bubble bath, and I know things are being edited for me and I get to see my kids every single evening. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I used to not be able to see them every evening. Like, game changer. And this is why I do this. This is why I'm telling you all of this. This is why I'm so passionate about talking about this over and over again, because I am here ready to support you, ready to support the industry, to make this the norm. And outsourcing doesn't have to feel like this taboo thing, or like, no, photographers don't outsource it. Like, no, that's not how it has to be. So yeah, all the details are there. You can sign up, you can choose whichever option works best for you. There is a one-time payment option and there is a 12-month payment plan, which is great too. And as soon as you sign up, you have instant access. So with all that said, now I feel complete. Enjoy the coaching call. You get to literally exclusively be a fly on the wall on this coaching call. Maybe you'll have some aha moments yourself, and then also enjoy hearing the stories, the transformation stories from other OMI students as well later in this episode.
Hi.
Yeah. So if you're saying it has been you, what has
it's
been?
just been me. Like I did really well starting the course. Kind of, I think I bought it in like October, and then I went through Christmas, which was crazy busy, and then I was like, okay, January, I'm gonna do it. And then so that right now I'm in my crazy busy, I'm kind of entering like crazy busy season for me. I'm a dance photographer.
Ooh, nice.
So all the studios are doing like their year-end photos.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been super busy. So my goal was to have everything done before then.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't happen. But I was able to do the first 2 modules. And then every week my husband has been like, did you finish that? Like, have you hired your VA yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't done it yet. Like, I just need to finish this one gallery. Or no, like I need to finish this studio first and then I'll go do it. Like, I'm so behind on this. So that's been kind of my biggest block. But yeah.
Okay. So let's get into that. So when you're experiencing that moment of, that you're literally picking a path, or like, am I going to do this task myself, or am I going to pause my stuff that I need to do and just carve out some extra time to actually take the steps to get the outsourcing systems in place? When that is like, you have that choice in the moment, what are some like thoughts that pop up for you?
For me, I'm like, well, like if I don't do it now, they're going to start emailing me about it. And that was a really big, I started my business fully in 2019. And the biggest thing that I've done was I've always been behind on editing, which is kind of why I'm like, I need to outsource. And I have started to outsource my editing. But one of my like, I guess it literally is like a fear and anxiety is getting like angry emails being like, where are my photos? Like, why aren't they done yet? Like, it's been a month or it's been a month and a half, blah, blah. And then now that I have started to outsource, those emails aren't coming, but there's
Mhm.
always that like fear of like, if I don't get it to them this week, when like that's the deadline that I set for myself, when I don't meet that, then I'm like, I can't do anything else until those are done.
What are the expectations you set with your clients
Four to
for the
six,
turnaround? For the turnaround time?
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's very clear. Like you
Yeah.
literally like after the shoot, you even send a reminder like, yay, this was so fun. Like just like 4 to 6 weeks, or like, even if it's during the shoot, you leave and you're like, it was so much fun. Like they're going to be ready in 4 to 6 weeks. Like that's done. Right.
I don't do an email after that would be smart. I do it in like my prep guide, and I send a like a proof gallery out, and it's in their proof gallery, and it says like, once you place your order, please allow for like 4 weeks for delivery.
Okay. And it's clear. It's not like it's like hidden and like there's so much text that they'll miss it.
I I don't think so.
Okay. You should be, or do you feel like, how confident do you feel that it's like very clear?
Um 80%. There is a lot of text. So once you said that, I was like, oh, like
Mm,
maybe they just aren't reading, or like it
yeah.
is just too much there. And
This is
then
very, oh, I love that you're sharing this. This is so good. Because if you guys are watch, which lesson is it? It's the slow down to speed up one
mhm,
in the course. This is what can happen if we're always being reactive in our business and making decisions out of panic and like short-term focus,
mhm,
right? So short-term focus is like, oh my gosh, I can't be late. I'm going to continue to like do this myself, reactive, instead of pausing and problem solving, being like, wait a second, why am I even getting emails of people asking me, when are the photos ready, even if they're still not due yet? Like, is that the experience that you're having?
yes, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a reason they're asking, and it's probably because there hasn't been enough clarity around the turnaround
Mhm,
time. So guess
mhm,
what? That's a simple system fix where you just go in and be like, okay, what are my touch points? Where
mhm,
else can I add that reminder?
mhm.
And so, for example, and if you send the proofing gallery, or if they, whatever, you can make sure it's at the very top or somewhere in there where it's like, you know that they're going to read that, or
Yeah,
it's bolded, or it's
yeah.
like all caps, or like, again, at the session, I always, as many touch points as I can at the
Mhm,
session. So for example, weddings, I leave a wedding, I'm like, oh my gosh, so much fun. Like, so your photos will be ready for you 5 weeks after, in 5 weeks, and I can't wait to like connect with you soon. And then of course it's their wedding day, they're probably not going to remember that, they're probably a little drunk and like whatever and so excited. And then I send them a sneak peek, I'm like, here's a sneak peek to hold you over until your photos will be ready in 4.5 weeks by the time they get their
yeah,
sneak peek, right? It's like, make sure to do that. That's such an easy fix. You can literally fix that today, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
once you fix that today, how much anxiety does that lift off your shoulders of like clients potentially emailing you being, where are they? Right?
Mhm. Yeah,
It was
exactly.
just an
So,
expectations issue. And guess
yeah,
what? I never, ever, ever get emails from clients being like, where are our photos? Never,
right,
because of that. So that's a
right.
huge problem solved. So that's amazing. Okay. So then now that that's solved, how do you feel now about outsource? You're already outsourcing your editing. Huge high
Mhm,
five, like
yeah.
amazing job.
Mhm.
And how is that going for you? How does it fit within your workflow of like your timeline of when your turnaround
It's
time?
It's still a work in progress, I will
Mhm.
say. Overall, like I've been super happy, and it's so nice to be able to like go to bed without being like, I need to get those edits done
Yeah.
because I'm like someone else is doing it, or like anything. Like I was able to go, visit somebody, and knowing that like during the week when I should have been working, or like should have been, or like would have been working, I could go visit somebody and be like, it's being worked on. Like I
Yeah.
don't have to worry about it. So that has been amazing. There's been a bit of like I've been using the feedback videos and stuff. So, and
Mhm.
she's been super responsive with that. So I'm really
Awesome.
happy with that. My next step will be a VA, because I'm finding like a
Okay, wait,
lot of
let's
it.
pause. Let's pause
Mhm.
there before we go there, because I'm just wondering, I want to see if there's any other workflow issues to fix because
Mhm.
you mentioned you felt a little like tight on the deadline with outsourcing with editing. So I just want to make
Yeah.
sure, like, um, you said that your turnaround time is 4 to 6 weeks.
Mhm.
What's the time frame that you get those edits back for you to quality check? Like, is it?
I give her to, so part of my backup right now that I'm finding is I'm still doing my culling, and
Mhm.
that's what's taking up a lot of my time. So
So then
that's
you can't
something.
get that to them as fast.
Exactly. So
Do
I
you
can't get.
procrastinate your culling?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Yeah. Mhm.
bottleneck
Yeah,
issue with so many
exactly.
photographers. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so again, let's take off our short-term thinking hat, put on
Mhm.
our long-term one,
Mhm.
and give you need this is where self-discipline comes into play straight up,
Mhm.
and how committed you are to not feel the stress on the back end of the deadline
Yeah.
is on the front end. It's every single, like for me, Monday, like before when I used to call back
Mhm.
in 2018 September is when I first got someone else to do it for me. But before that, every Monday, the
Mhm.
weddings from the weekend were done and called. That was my
Yeah.
that was it was it. Like there's
Mhm.
no if, ands, or buts. Like that is what I'm doing. And
Mhm.
because I knew that if I was able to send out the catalog to the editor on Tuesday, it's like that's done. Oh my God, it's like Tuesday, the week after the wedding. I'm done the culling. The edits are taken care of. Like, oh my God, the
Mhm.
client is going to get their photos back at the 3 week mark instead of the 5 week mark. They're going to be extra happy. That leads to more referrals, more demand, leads to increasing your rates. It's a freaking huge ripple effect. So if you
Mhm.
can really prioritize putting that self-discipline to get that culling done right away, like that is the priority.
Yeah.
Amazing. If you
Yeah.
can even take it a step further, and I don't know if this is where you were going to go with your virtual assistant, but we'll still pause on that conversation. But you can, find someone from the Philippines for like $5 to $7 an hour, train them how to cull. And again, in your job posting, like I mentioned to Katie, you can just explain, like, I'm looking for someone that gets excited about going through photos and loves being creative and imagery, right? They
Mhm.
can easily learn that through the culling formula in the course. So that's an option. So that is how you can then make sure that your catalogs get to your editor right away, have that system be flawless, like your color. You can literally put in the job posting, my expectation is that the cull is done the following day after the session or maximum 2 days after. And then it's
Mhm.
a smooth system. It's literally like a plug and play. Like every Monday, this happens. Every Tuesday, it's sent out to the color. About 5 to 8 business days after the edit is done. Depends. Like that's a wedding, so it's a bigger gallery. But does that give you more clarity on how you can save stress on the back end? And when you save stress on the back end, you're never playing catch up in your season. And the catch up cycle is what creates burnout for photographers.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's feel like that's kind of where I'm stuck a little bit because I'm like, okay, once I catch up, I'll be able to do this and this and this. But it's kind of just like you just have to start and
Mhm.
start getting it done. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
the way
that's
that you move through the catch up is that
mhm.
now you commit to carving out time to outsource the like later things that are due,
Yeah.
and you catch up on what's due very soon so that
Yeah.
that's done. They're taken care of. You don't want to compromise due dates.
Mhm.
But if
Mhm.
you start outsourcing everything, like even the culling of like the things that are due later, like the last things on your queue, start to
Mhm.
outsource your culling there. And that's how you'll get through the catch up with then not having to ever catch up again, like play catch up
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were you going to say about the VA that you were
So
thinking
that's
next step?
kind of, yeah, that's kind of my next step with doing that because I want to be able to train somebody to call. I want
Mhm.
somebody to be able to send out invoices and not have to worry about that because that's what I'm spending a lot of my like evenings doing now. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't do this. So
exactly.
mhm.
Amazing. And what's your volume like? Because I have no idea
um
what it's like to be a dance photographer.
right now it's crazy. Like it's pretty much every weekend 12-hour days. And like these galleries are like I have a studio this coming weekend. It's going to be a 5-day shoot, and there's I think 700 students, so it's at least one photo per student, if not a little bit more. So it's
Yeah.
it's a lot. And I'm finding now that I used to just do like one-on-one sessions, like similar to like portrait sessions just with dancers. And now that I'm doing this higher volume, I'm like, I need somebody to do the easy work.
Okay. The culling, is that it's literally picking the best photo, the most flattering one photo of a dancer, like an
There's
individual portrait, for example.
certain some studios do it differently. Like some I've been
But for
doing
you,
where I'm picking, and then some I'm sending them everything and they're picking.
okay, got it. Okay. So but what are you doing?
When I call,
Yeah, what's like, yeah, for example, when you call, is it just
yes.
like you pick?
I'm going through and picking the best ones. So like let's say we
Mm,
might have taken like 3 jumping shots. I might give them 2 of them and they can choose which one's
okay,
best.
perfect. So you already know your formula. So the
Mhm.
cool thing is, Ashley, like, okay, this is so cool because it's actually what you're shooting is probably one of the easiest things to outsource for culling.
Mhm.
And literally you can just like that you can whatever you're culling, the different types of sessions that you shoot. Let's say you shoot a session where it's all group photos and then individual portraits. Let's say those are just the 2 types that you shoot, for example.
Mhm.
The next thing you cull, well, firstly you'd have to watch how to create like well, actually no, because you now know how to create training videos because you outsourced your
Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
just create a training video. So I want you to like live cull something, but
Okay.
now as you're culling it and you're recording your screen, you're
Mhm.
talking through, okay, I'm culling like this and I'm in Lightroom and I'm clicking this on my keyboard in order to cull, like really dumbing it down, and then say, I'm going to choose this image because on this person with this specific body type, I think this angle works better, or the way they smiled here looks more authentic because you see their eyes are actually smiling too. Like you go into the nitty gritty of why you're choosing every single photo. And then you've done that training video and that's it. You have that training video as your asset. You hire someone to call based on the like your job posting, the whole process. And then when you're ready to send them a test, like call, because you want to make sure it's like a good fit, you send them that training video. As you send them that training video, they're working on it. You can work on something else. You get it back from them. You check it based on the workflow that I show of how to do it efficiently. And you'll be able to gauge, oh, did they get it? Did they understand what I'm saying? Did they listen? Make sure to always give them feedback the first time. So record a feedback video, explain what we would have done differently, and then give them a second one of like the same similar thing. And then you'll be able to see, oh yeah, they quickly saw that again and they fixed it. They're a good fit, and then you never have to recreate that same training video ever again in case, let's say something happens where you're like, either they quit down the line or in the beginning, they're just not the right fit and you have to go with the second candidate you interviewed and you're like, okay, this other person could be a good fit. You don't have to actually sit down and train them. You have a video, you send it to them. Right. So it's actually, it doesn't take that much time in the grand scheme of things in the long term. So doing that front work, doing it well, doing it properly so that you don't have to spend your time in the future, that's what's going to be game changer.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? I don't even know how I got on that tangent of explaining that, but
No, that was
the VA.
Yeah.
I hope that makes it feel like it's more manageable. Oh yeah, I mentioned that you have like it seems like a very easy thing to outsource for culling. That's what it was. Yeah.
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 How do you feel now? Because you felt like you were like stuck and you're feeling overwhelmed, right? Because you're playing catch up and you're like a busy time. Yeah, if you just allocate that time to dive into the course, take those actions, it's gonna take you out of the stuckness and take you out of the overwhelm sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else that's popping up for you that is like, once I'm done this coaching call, like I still feel like I'm not gonna actually do it or take action? Or are you like, oh no, that's exactly what I need. I'm good. I'm fired up. Like I feel clear.
Yes. Yeah. Now that I'm here, I was able to like listen in finally and like hear, because I haven't been able to make the other coaching calls. So this was great. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I can sense that energy off you.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I'm good. I'm focused. I'm good to go. And you
Yeah.
can, did you say it was your husband that was?
Yeah. Yeah. He's been on me. Yeah.
I like it. Have him be your accountability buddy. It's like,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, that's awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Ashley. That was
Thank
like
you.
really good to talk through.
Sarah's Outsourcing Made Easy course honestly changed my life. Flashback to last year, I was burnt out, exhausted. I took my laptop with me everywhere, so I was always working, and I was pretty much crying all the time. This course was put in front of me at the exact right moment that I needed it. Honestly, once I dove in, it just changed everything. I've managed to hire a virtual assistant. I've managed to hire an editor. I've actually taken on way more work, and I've been able to shoot way more while working less. I no longer bring my laptop with me to family functions, and I can actually focus on being with my friends and family when I'm with them. I've actually had compliments that my energy has completely shifted and I'm like a whole new person, which that's, I think, the best compliment of all, because I felt pretty dead inside last year. I thought that that's just what being a business owner meant, was just being drained and working 24/7. But I've now realized that no successful business is run by one person alone. I've managed to hire a small but amazing team, and it's honestly changed not only my life, but my experience for all of my couples as well. I feel like I'm able to give so much more time and attention and love and energy to each couple, rather than always feeling drained and burnt out every time I show up to a wedding. Honestly, everything's been a game changer. I've doubled my revenue since last year while working less, totally breaking the myth that you have to work more to make more. And the way that Sarah lays out every step by step honestly sets up everything for like any other future outsourcing projects. I feel like I can outsource literally anything in my business that doesn't bring me joy, all because Sarah has provided this like step-by-step process on how to do that. I feel like my life is just completely changing from here on out, and I can't wait to see what else I can outsource. If you are struggling and you can't keep up with work, if you feel overwhelmed and you're always at your computer, I promise you, your time is way more valuable than any price you would pay to outsource to someone. And if you can learn, someone else can learn too. Think about it. You didn't know how to edit when you started. You didn't know how to take these amazing photos and create this amazing system before you did it. You had to learn somewhere, which means if you can learn, you can teach someone else. This will change your life. I promise you. Take Sarah's Outsourcing Made Easy course. It's worth every single penny. I will always go back to these videos and I will rewatch over and over and over again until I've outsourced everything in my business that doesn't bring me joy. I can't wait.
Life has been all rainbows and sunshine since I have found my person. I currently am outsourcing my culling, my editing, album design, blogging, SEO, my Instagram engagement, accounting, and I'm just in the process of training somebody to do my Pinterest and other social stuff. So it's been wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
It would be the fact that I have more time with my family. And it's, I'm taking my kids to sports and tutoring during the week. I get to go to like family barbecues on the weekend on Sundays, or, get to do some things for myself, like just as simple as going for like a pedicure or a manicure and not worrying about the workload that's sitting at home. I'm not feeling shameful for taking some time for me, which was very easy to do in the past. I don't second think anything like that anymore. It's like, okay, it's Friday. I can unplug and not answer my emails till Monday and not feel guilty. And it's just setting those boundaries, and it's just so freeing.
Oh,
So
yes.
freeing, and it feels so good.
I missed out on so much, Sarah. And like, I'm going to get emotional thinking about it again now. I've missed out on friends' weddings. I've missed out on family events. I've missed out on just anything, being able to just say like, hey, are you free tonight? And I'm like, no, I'm editing till 3 a.m. every single night. And I'm shooting this day and I'm doing a wedding this day. And I was just constantly working. And I had people tell me, they're like, all you do is work, Katie. And I'm like, yeah, it was very overwhelming. I was very stressed out. I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't eating properly. I was eating fast food because I'd be up until 3 a.m. editing, and I had just late nights 24/7. And I'm down 21 pounds now, which is like a complete different, that also aids in the whole mindset shift. So I wasn't taking care of myself mentally, physically, and I was burnt out beyond belief. So that's where I was when I signed up to your course. course. I was with my grandma the other day for her birthday, and I remember she just kind of looked at me and she's like, "Oh my God, Kitty, you never come to nothing, and now I see you so much, and you're here." And I had time to take her out on a Saturday afternoon shopping. Like, that is unheard of for a wedding photographer. And she's like, "I'm so happy you have time now," and just little things like that you hear, and I've heard it from a lot of people in my inner circle or people that know me and see me often. They're like, your energy has changed and your whole demeanor has changed, and you're not in that workaholic mode 24/7, and they see a big difference. I can actually enjoy my time off, which you probably know before you started outsourcing.
Yeah.
The guilt will eat away at you. Like, I remember being out
Mhm.
with friends and I'm like, are my clients thinking that I'm ignoring them? Like, I'm out at a party. Are they going to think that I'm reckless and I don't care about my job? Like, you constantly had this little voice in the back of your head that was like, are people going to judge me for not working? But
Yeah.
having somebody take over that backlog, and I'm not backlogged anymore, gives me that little bit of freedom. Like, when I'm off on the weekend, I can be off on the weekend and not think about work and detach from it a lot better than I was able to. So
Mhm.
that has been the biggest thing for me.
So before I invested in Sarah's Outsourcing Made Easy course, my life was super hectic. I was working a job outside of wedding photography, and it just felt like I could never get anything done in time. Even if I made those deadlines, it was just going from one wedding to the next, no time off in between, and honestly, a lot of stress and burnout. So once I invested in the course, it did take me a bit to get all of my outsourcing set up, but I started with outsourcing my editing based on Sarah's really helpful guidelines in the course. And then once I kind of got that tackled, I moved on to getting a VA who now does culling for me, handles all my wedding day questionnaires and blog posts and basically everything so I can have time outside of the office. So now that I've started outsourcing, this summer especially was my first summer outsourcing both editing and having a VA handling some work for me. I was able to take a full week off, unplugged, out of service for my sister's wedding in Algonquin, and I literally didn't stress for one moment that week, which was a huge relief. I've been able to spend more time with family and friends, of course, not always on weekends, but prioritizing that time during the week that I would have been dedicating to working in the office on a beautiful sunny day. And overall, just so much less stressed and no burnout this year, which is insane because it's been my busiest year yet. And thanks to the outsourcing course and being able to implement all these workflows and kind of get my business as organized as I've always wanted it to be, I've been able to have free time, which is something I thought would be unheard of for the last 7 years as a wedding photographer. I am for sure putting in less hours throughout the week, which is amazing. Just having time, especially now at home with my partner and our new puppy, having time to go on an evening walk or actually help and make dinner. Like, it sounds really small and minuscule, but those changes have been huge in my life, especially in the busy season. And I would definitely say I work less hours and make the same amount of money, if not more, because my workflow is streamlined, my clients are happier. I get galleries to them sooner than the delivery time that I provide, and overall it just helps in every aspect of my business. If I could tell anyone who's on the fence about joining Outsourcing Made Easy, one thing is that fear will probably be the biggest thing that'll stand in your way. I know for me, it felt like I couldn't let go control of certain things, that no one would do it as good as I could, or that it would cost more money, and all those things are not true. Once you kind of get out of your own way and really invest in yourself by investing in Sarah's course, you will see that all of those things are not true if you just take the time to focus on what you want to outsource first and then slowly chip away at all the different things. Honestly, this course is life-changing. I've done a lot of courses over the years and nothing has made a bigger impact on me and my business. And the online aspect of it is amazing. I refer to it all the time when I'm going to implement a new part of my business to be outsourced. So could not recommend it enough. You will be doing yourself the biggest favor by investing in Sarah's course, and you will not regret it, I promise.
So that's it. That's all for this episode. Go to sarahmonica.com/freedom. Sign up now. Again, doors are only open for 4 short days. So I really hope you didn't miss this episode. May 15th to the 18th. And if you are still a little unsure of if it's the right fit for you with wherever you're at in your business, please make sure to DM me Sarah Monica Photo on Instagram. That's Sarah no H, Monica with a K. And just let me know where you're at. Voice note me or type it out or video message me, like whatever you want. And I will help you decide if it's the right fit for you or not. I've literally in the past, when people have reached out to me feeling like, oh, can you help me decide? There have been moments where I'm like, no, it's a little too soon. Like these systems will definitely be useful to you maybe in a year or two, but you're just at the point where you just literally don't have enough bookings yet. You're literally just starting and you've had 3 sessions this whole year and 1 wedding. So it's just a little bit too soon as an example. You might be there and you might have those sessions and a wedding as well, but you may like every case is so uniquely different. Like you may have a different situation in your life. Maybe you're working a full-time job and you're already feeling overwhelmed with that. Or maybe you just want to learn how to outsource sooner because you know that if you get help on the front, if you're already working like a full-time job, for example, and you get help right away and you learn that skill, that you can like even fast, grow your photography business even faster. But this other person, they weren't working yet in a full-time job. I'm like, no, you still have time, I think, to maybe sign up depending on how it goes in the following year or 2. So I'm very honest. Like I'm totally in integrity with honesty and making sure that the course is a right fit for someone, because I just would not feel right to be like, oh yeah, this is the right time. And then you dive into the course, but you have like no action to take because you actually don't have anything to outsource yet. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. So wherever you're feeling, whatever your fears are, I will talk through them with you. And at the end of the day, I respect any decision that you make because you know what's right for you, but I can more than happily coach you through to the decision that feels in alignment with you, whatever that is. Okay. So I'm here for you. Like take the time, reach out to me. I'll walk you through it. And remember, doors are closing really soon. There's only 4 days, May 15th to the 18th, and then they won't be opening again until October 2023, which is, what that time of year is. It's literally when you're just like fully in the thick of it. If you don't have your outsourcing in place, you're in burnout. Everyone wants sessions. You're trying to catch up with all the extra shit that you booked because you needed the money. It's just it ends up being a clusterfuck, and I don't want you to get there. So I'm here for you now so you don't get there then. So go to sarahmonica.com/freedom and I'll see you in OMI. Bye. Yay! Thank you so much for hanging out with me and tuning into this episode. If you got value out of it, please feel free to message me on Instagram at Sarah Monica Photo. That's Sarah no H, Monica with a K, photo, to let me know. I get so freaking energized hearing from others that what I've said has had a positive impact on their lives. Also, make sure to hit subscribe to the Shine and Thrive podcast to never miss an episode. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm sending you all the productive vibes your way so you have the best week ever.